Hey guys, welcome back. We are now on part 5 of our Polar Lights Enterprise build, and as you can see, I do have some putty on that seam. I'll have to be sanding that down and taking a look and seeing what else I need to do, if I need to do another round or 2 or 5. Who knows? In the meantime, while waiting for that to dry, I have been working on the secondary hull here, specifically the lighting. I have all the windows in. I just used some canopy glue and glued those in. They're not going anywhere. And actually, a lot of these, well, not a lot of, these 3 windows press fit pretty good on mine. Like, I probably didn't used to use glue on the neck window, and maybe not this window. This window's a little, this window popped out and the window back here popped out, but yeah, these fit in pretty good. I did put the little red window in here because the Enterprise needs its darkroom. And I scraped off all the paint, and I just saw Space Doc's video he did on his nacelles, which look very awesome, and he said this was a tongue and groove system. My friend, I will have to disagree with you. The Enterprise is not a tongue and groove. It is a shiplap, i.e. there is a little section that's stuck out on this side, which just like a tongue and groove, but on the other side there is just a place for that to sit. If this were a tongue and groove, you would actually have another piece of plastic where this little outcropping would set into. So, disagreeing with you, man. But anyways, this thing fits together very, very nicely. Actually, not much of a seam on the bottom. There was a little bit of an overlap or a step, which I just took my hobby knife and just vanished. Not much going here on the fantail. Up here, it's fairly detailed, and I was worried about it. There's a little ridge here that's could be easily sanded away, and there was just a touch of a step on here. Did the same thing with my hobby knife. I don't think this seam's going to be anything big. I don't think the seam up front's going to be too much to be concerned about. The deflector array housing, that thing goes in there nice and solid. Probably don't even need to glue this in here. It fits in there so well. So, I have to think about lighting now. And I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do. I'm thinking I'm going to run a 6 strip on the bottom, maybe a 3 strip on either side up here. I'm going to have to run an individual LED back here for the hangar deck. And I think that's going to be it for the main lighting. A 6 strip up here, or a 3 strip up here, my apologies. A 6 strip down here to get all these lights. I might need a 3 strip right here, but I don't think so. I think I'll have enough light coming from the top and the bottom here to illuminate these windows. And of course, these bottom windows will help illuminate the neck. I'll have to, again, test. If they don't illuminate the neck, I'm going to have to put a little 3 strip up here pointing up towards the neck. But then I run into wires. I do need to run 2 wires somewhere in this neck so that they can go to the upper hull. Actually, 4 wires because we have the flashers in the hull. So I will think about that. The other thing is the detail lights. Let's talk about the detail lights for a second, real quick. There was a little nub down here to indicate a light, so I'm going to put a light there. There's a little nub up here, which is to indicate a light. I'm going to try to put a light up there. I think I'll have enough room to get around this piece. If not, since you're not going to see the back here, I could actually carve a little trench in there for the fiber optic. And I think that's it for the outside, those 2 lights. I still have 2 holes to drill on either side to point at the neck to get my neck beauty lights. I have 2 holes to drill on either side of this for my pylon and engine. There should be a light that's basically highlighting this right here, and there's a little bit of overspray or over leak of light that go up up these grills here. So I will need to get my angle, put this in here, and get my angle on where exactly that light should be. Not only should be, but how it should be pointing. I'm thinking pretty much the same angle as this, somewhere in here to point at this section right here. And I think for this main part, that will be it for the lights. Don't need to light up the deflector. It's the old G reflector. But then there's this, which, according to the box art and the models, there are lights on this. Actually, no, I'm looking at the box. I did forget some lights. There are actually four lights I forgot to talk about. You got 3 lights on the fantail. You got one in the center, which is right on that seam. And you got 2 that are pretty much at the edge of this little detail in here. And then you have one that's right back here. I think I'll be able to get them. The one back here will be illuminated by this, pretty much. Because while I'm light blocking this and the fantail, I'm not light blocking the inside because I need light to pass through here for this. See that? That right there is illuminated on the fantail. I'm going to somehow have to make a mask out of this and see if I can't mask that off. There are also a couple of red and green lights that go on the fantail that I'll have to mask off. I'm going to have to be making the smallest masks I ever made. We will try that. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But I'm hoping to get those lights because that would be really neat to get those in there. There are 2 little lights that I'm going to forcibly ignore that come from this tiny little outcropping here, and they illuminate the door here on the hangar deck. Those would be microscopic. I don't even know how I'd get fiber optic in there. It's just this itty bitty piece right there. So those I'm going to ignore. But that should be, look at the box again, all the lights I'm dealing with for this. So I'm going to get back to work drilling some holes for those beauty lights, lining them up, making sure they're at the right point on the cell. And I'll be back when I'm done with that, and when I'm starting to get all my wiring, or rather all of my lights, my LED strips wired up, and I'll do some testing and see exactly if my plan goes to plan. I'll be right back. I just finished getting all the holes drilled for my beauty lights. We'll get this section of the hole together real quick. It fits together so well, you guys. Ooh, crispy. Anyways, I have the holes drilled for my neck lights. As you can see, I accidentally drilled them off a little bit. They're not exactly parallel. I could go back in here and fill this and make that a little bit better. I'm still debating whether or not to even bother because they light about the same part of the neck up. These are a little bit better, and these do in fact light up perfectly. They cast the light along this grill here and highlight right there exactly where I wanted it to on either side. I have my little hole drilled for this light. This will be a fiber optic painted green to emulate the original series dome that was here. I have my light under here. I'm still debating whether or not to make that a flasher. I kind of do want a flasher on the secondary hull, so I'm leaning towards doing that. I have my 3 drilled back in here, these 3 lights, and the one right here. And that, I believe, is that as far as the secondary hull goes for beauty lights. Now, I am currently thinking about this little baseball cap with ears that is the shuttle bay. I will be light blocking most of this because I will be putting an LED right there in the provided slot for LED that's with the lighting kit that you can buy. But I will be masking off the underside of this and this tiny little lip here, this tiny lip up front, and this will be light blocked. I will be light blocking the ears because the ears are in fact not so much ears as they are windows. They are this one blank window right here. So those will have to be masked off on top, masked off on bottom. The other thing I'll be having to mask off are the sections in here which are lit up. There's a couple of like hash marks and squares that are red and green. I think I'm going to be painting this first and then clear coating that to protect it and then putting the masks over that. This up here is a whole other story. We have something I hope I never lose. We have this little guy. This is one of the decals. Actually, this is one of the decals that I had to cut either end off because the stock decal actually, let's see, there we go. It actually overlaps the edge of this, and it, in fact, I might have to cut just a touch more off of here, but it does overlap the edge of the fantail here. So I think that'll be fine. I had to cut that down just a little bit. I will be creating a paper mask and then using that as a template to create my tape masks, or tape mask rather, either or. And then I'll line that up. I'll put that mask on, and I'm not sure if I'm going to paint underneath it because I think the decal will just have a nice glow and it'll make these colored sections glow. I think that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to get to work on the mask for this itty bitty little piece and for the fantail. I'll be back with that is done to show you guys how that turned out. So I have my clear paint on the fantail here. I have it on top. I have it on the rear of the fantail. All I did is take the decal, trace it onto a piece of paper, put the paper down, put the fantail on top of that, and then very, very carefully with my smallest brush here, I painted on that clear paint. Now, this is not perfect, obviously. This is not perfect at all. I'm going to be taking some Tamiya tape. I'll be cutting this up to be more in line with the scale on the decal here, and masking off this part of the fantail. The other part of the fantail, I'll be doing the same thing. There is a green rectangle in the center. There are two vertical rectangles on either side of that, and two horizontal, very, very thin rectangles, almost just like little slat-looking things on either side of that, and I'll be cutting this up accordingly. I'm going to get back to work on my lighting while I wait for this to fully dry, because I want it to fully dry. And actually, what I might do is go over this with a light coating of clear, just to make sure that the paint does not lift when I put my tape on it. So I'm going to get back to work on my lighting. Be right back. I got all the masks on here. As you can see, the flight deck, these little ears, which will become windows. The edge of this, all masked up. The underside, all masked up. I got a little silly putty on this leading edge to help transfer light. And the inside of those windows are masked up. I am ready to start my light blocking. I'll be back when this is done. This is what I have thus far. I have a 6 strip down here. These aren't permanent, I just placed them in here. I'll be hot gluing these in and maybe adjusting them a little bit. But 6 strip here, 3 strip here. I have a 2mm back in here, and that lights this whole section up. It even lights up some of the windows over here. So that should be fine there. I might be moving this strip slightly backwards because I'm not getting a ton of light into here. I have the same setup on the other side. 3 and the 6. I'm also putting a 3 strip right here, right up here to help light up the neck. I'm not getting a ton of light in the neck, so I'm going to mount this right along here, getting light up in there. I'm going to get to work on the beauty lights. I think I'm going to take all this out of here and focus on the beauty lights. I need to get one in there, as you can see, that little hole there. I need to get one up on the neck. I need to get something on the bottom. I need to get these fantail lights in, and I think that's it. So I'm going to get to work on that. We got the painting done in here. Got the deck here done. We got the tail done. I'm gonna put some light under here. As you can see, lighting up nicely. Does light that tail end up there nicely too. I will get this mounted into the hull, and I'll be right back. Alright, we have the lighting all in here. Got all my beauty lights, got all my main lights. They're all tied together. Here's the mains. We have two little extra wires here because I am going to make this flash down here. This will be tied in to the flasher chip. I did put the shuttle bay in here and put the LED in there, and everything's tied together here. So I do need to run on one of these sides 4 wires down the neck here. I think I'm going to do it on this side just because of this nice little clip here where I can bundle my wires before they come down into the hull. And just scoot them along this edge and up out here. So the 4 wires for the bridge, the 2 for the mains, and the 2 for the flasher. So we'll need to bundle all these up. I do have masking tape. The masking tape's just early masking tape because I want to take care of that seam. I just thought I'd put it on here. I do need to remove it from this. I forgot that I was putting the engines on. The engines are almost done. I do have a little bit of touching up to do. I have detail painting on the vents here and on these little things back here. I have to touch up the fin down here. Got a little paint scraped off it. I got this fin up here to touch up. The other one's ready to go. I just had to put a coat of clear on the on this pylon. But that's going to wait till next time. I want to thank everyone for watching. You guys take care, and I hope to see you next week.